Hello there, and welcome to the Ultima video blog series around cloud. So I'm joined again by Craig again. Hello, Craig. Yeah, right. And so we're going to talk this one about landing zones, which is possibly, although not the most interesting part of cloud, is one of the most important parts of the cloud. If your landing zone is not right, and Craig will talk a little bit about what that means, then pretty much you're doomed to fail for expanding your services and modernize your services going forward. So, Craig, do you want to talk a little bit about what a landing zone is and what customers might want to think about when looking at landing zones?
Yeah, and I just want to use maybe a bit of an example, really, to be fair. So if we take it back to a data center background, you know, how you build up a data center before you can migrate your virtual machines, whether it's VMware, Hyper-V, whatever that might be, you know, you need your rack space, you need your power, you need your cooling, you need to make sure that your networking, your management, security is all in place, your compute storage, all those kind of things. Those services all need to be in there. You know, domain services, all that kind of good stuff before you can then even think about migrating your virtual machines. It's exactly the same kind of concept for cloud. You know, I know there's a common analogy, really, that you can just put a credit card down and consume the platform. Of course you can, but it doesn't mean that your services are secure. It doesn't mean that they're governed in the right way. It doesn't mean that you're monitoring it in the right way as well, because obviously then the operating model is completely different. So the landing zone is all around that piece, is making sure that those key services are in place. Okay, and it's commonly commonly missed because, again, it's a skill set thing. It's you don't know what you don't know from a consumer perspective. Okay, so first things first, it's the best practice alignment. So Microsoft Cloud Adoption Framework, AWS Well Architected Framework, those are basically a fairly large set of best practices that illustrate how you can then build in a best practice manner and make sure that your services are secure, governed and managed effectively. Okay, so we build alongside those as well. Okay, so just expanding on the security and governance piece, it's perimeter security, for example, but not just dropping a firewall in. It's all about then, once I'm in Azure and AWS, how do I make sure that I'm operating within the right location? So we generally look, customers generally deploy in the UK regions for data sovereignty purposes, but through our assessment phases, we always see, I think the worst I've seen is 33 different locations that a customer's been deployed into. And it's really important that that security and governance piece is set up at the beginning, because we can actually stop that through rules and policies we can set on the platform as well. Okay. Then past that, it's all around cost management. Of course, we know that we pay for literally everything that we consume within public cloud. It's making sure that you manage it in the right way. You know, what tools and services can we take advantage of to make sure that we've got that visibility. What we don't want to be doing is having a massive spike on a monthly bill because someone's deployed something that maybe they shouldn't have done or they didn't mean to. It's having those tools in place to make sure that we can stop it before it even happens. Okay.
Yeah, it's really important. So back in the data center days, you kind of had that level of governance built in because you had VMware guys looking after VMware environment, you had the storage guys looking after storage. So I want some storage. Oh, how much do you want? Oh, I want 20 terabytes. You can't have it. It's too much. You're only getting 5. In a cloud world, obviously, I want a massive VM with a massive bit of storage. Go crazy. And without those governance and compliance bits in place, people put stuff wherever they want. They end up making it too big, and then no one then looking at it in the future think, well, actually, I need to shrink. I need to reduce that now because it's too large and it's not really consuming it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly that. And coming back to it, you mentioned obviously it is a fundamental step in terms of effective cloud adoption. It's making sure to be frank about it, it's the difference between a success and a failure of a project. Effectively, how critical it is as a piece.
Cool. And do you reckon, is there anything that Ultima can help with around kind of this landing zone design or this engagement with the customer? Is there anything that we can do, or any sort of set engagements?
Yeah, of course we can. Yeah, so we've got an engagement model called Cloud Deploy, and it is exactly what it sounds like. It's all about deploying within public cloud in the right way. So I mentioned earlier on a previous video that we offer standardized and structured services, and that's the whole idea around this, to be fair. Now, I generally always say, from my own experience, generally speaking, 70% to 80% of a cloud platform deployment is best practice. You know, that there's that 20 to 30% of customer personalization. What services am I deploying? What naming standards are? What the policies are going to be, and those kind of things. So cloud deploy is all around us being able to move as quickly as possible on that 70 to 80%, but being flexible enough to be able to then pivot on customer requirements as well. Okay, and that's the same as, how many locations you want to deploy into. These best practices are designed so much so you can start small and grow it's as big as you need to be. They're scalable by design. So some customers might start with single locations in the UK, some might start with dual if you need disaster recovery, but again, it's all personalised to that requirement as well.
Yeah, it's really critical that you get it right from day one, because if you build it right, knowing that it's going to expand and going to go out, that the fundamentals are correct, the hub networking is correct, that the security and compliance is correct, that the whole perimeter area is correct, that actually when you want to put a new service up or a new set of devices up there, or you just simply want to add another region, that it's not a case of having to re-architect the entire solution from scratch again and then having to migrate probably to another cloud environment to get rid of all of the issues that you created in the first place, to make sure it's actually right. Yeah, so it's probably one of the most important parts of your cloud journey, is making sure that landing zone is right, because everything else is affected from that day.
Yeah, agree.
Cool. Well, again, thank you, Craig.
Thanks, Matt.
So we're on number 3 now, so hopefully we'll join you on number 4 of the video blog series for cloud, where we're talking more about how we help customers with that cloud adoption piece and cloud optimization and migration.